Alright, so today we're going to solve compound inequalities. So when considered together, two inequalities such as h is greater than 52 and h is less than 72. So I have something that's greater than or equal to a number, and then that same number is less than or equal to a number. So when we have that a number is greater than something or less than something, we have what we call a compound inequality. A compound inequality containing and, so that's the biggest thing here is the and, containing and, is only true if both of the inequalities are true. Its graph is where the graphs of the two inequalities overlap. This is called the, this is called the intersection of the two graphs. The intersection can be found by graphing each inequality and then determining where the graphs intersect. So if I have a number that is greater than or equal to 3, I would graph it. It would look like the first graph. And then x is less than 7, and then I would graph it. And then because I have the two graphs graphed, I would look and see, okay, where do they overlap? So here, starting here and here, they're kind of not lined up, but so you see that from 3 to 7 is where the overlap is. Now 3 is included and it does go through 3 down here, so we have a closed circle at 3. Now on this one, even though it does go through 7 up on the first graph, it doesn't on the second graph. So we keep the open circle because it's not included, and then everything is shaded in between. So what this is saying is I need a number that's greater than or equal to 3, but it has to be less than 7. Well, what types of numbers are those? 3, 3 and a half, 3 and 3/4, 4, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 5 and 1/4. Like all of these numbers that are shaded between the two graphs, or between the 2 points, including the 3 would be solution set. Now, you could graph it, or you could write the compound inequality as x is greater than or equal to 3 and x has to be less than or equal to 7. So they have to both be true. That's why we say and. Another way that we write it is we start with the smaller number 3 and we use less than symbol. So 3 is less than or equal to x. X is your unknown. That represents that unknown number is less than 7. So the statement 3 is less than or equal to x is less than 7 can be read as x is greater than or equal to 3 and less than 7, or x is between 3 and 7 including 3. And we include the 3 because of the dot. So let's take a look at the next one. So it says solve and then graph the solution set. So we have -2 is less than or equal to x minus 3 is less than 4. How do we solve that? Well, it's like solving two inequalities at once. So basically where you have your symbols, your less than or equal to and your less than, you're going to draw your lines down. That's kind of saying where it's equal to. Those are your separate parts. So basically you want to section this off. Now, we're trying to get x by itself here. So x is by itself. So what do I got to get rid of? I got to get rid of this 3. So I have to add 3. But just like with equations and other inequalities, what I do to one, I have to do to them all. So I have to add 3 to every section. So then -2 plus 3 is 1, less than or equal to x, less than 7. So now we're saying that this value that I want, this x, okay, has to be between 1 and 7. So we need to graph that. Whoops, I don't want to use yellow because you can't see it. Let's use red. So I want to graph the compound inequality. So 1, 7. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7. I need a closed circle at 1 because it's less than or equal to. I need an open circle at 7 because it's just less than. Now, look, x is in between. So 1, this number has to be between 1 and 7. Can't be less than 1, can't be greater than 7. So all of this stuff in between then needs to be shaded. And that's how you solve and graph that. Now, you could have separated this if you really truly wanted to. You could have said that -2 is less than or equal to x minus 3 and solved it. And then you could have said x minus 3 is less than 4. You could have set up the two different inequalities and solved them, but you would have ended up back here to your original spot. Inequalities containing or. Another type of compound inequality contains the word or. A compound inequality containing or is true if at least one of the inequalities is true. So they both don't have to be true, one or the other. So as long as it works for the one, it's okay if it doesn't work for the other. So So one or the other. Its graph is the union, meaning all of the things are possible. So we got to union the two graphs together. So basically merge them together. They may or may not intersect. Typically they don't, but they may. So for the first one, I have x is greater than 2, so open circle shaded to the right. X is less than or equal to -1, closed circle shaded to the left. So it's an or, so I have to say x is greater than 2, or x, whatever it is, has to be less than or equal to 1, and that's what it looks. So basically, anything within that shaded could possibly work, whether it's -1, -1.5, -1 3/4, -3, -5, -10, whatever, or 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 3, 5, 10, whatever. So, question down here, sound. The human ear can only detect sounds between, so that's going to give me a key thing here, between the frequencies 20 hertz and to 20,000 hertz. Write and graph a compound inequality that describes the frequency of sounds humans cannot hear. So humans can only detect sounds between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. Write and graph a compound inequality that describes the frequency of sounds humans cannot hear. So it is a word problem. So we're going to let F be the frequency. So make sure that we state what our variable is, define our variable. So let F be the frequency. And so if they can hear between 20 and 20,000, they cannot hear if F is less than 20 and F is greater than or equal to 20,000. Or sorry, it's greater than, not equal to, sorry. It's just greater than 20,000. Because they can hear at 20,000. And or I'm sorry, no, it is equal to. Because it says between, so they can't hear at 20, they can't hear at 20,000 because it says between those two values. So F is less than 20 because they can hear below it, or 20, they can hear above 20,000. So there's your compound inequality. So now we just have to decide, is this going to be an and or an or? And this is an or. And then to graph it, then you have your graph. Now there is a lot of space in between, so I do understand that to graph that. So we have I'll just say 20 is down here. I know we're not gonna really count, but I'll put 20,000 up here. This really should be like evenly spaced, so like I really should have enough hash marks in here, tick marks, really to come up to 20,000. So if we're counting by thousands, if we're counting by 10,000s, it's really hard to find. But just for this purpose, I have equal to 20 and then shaded to the left because I can hear equal to or less than 20 hertz, or I can have a closed circle at 20,000 shaded to the right because I can hear, I can't hear, I guess I should say, at anything that's equal to or higher than 20,000 hertz. All right, solve this. Then graph the solution set. So we have an or, so basically you're solving two inequalities. So -2m plus 7 is less than or equal to 13. Draw your line down if you so choose. Subtract 7 from both sides because we have to get rid of that 7 first. Then bring down the -2m because I didn't do anything with it yet. Is less than or equal to 13 minus 7 is 6. Divide both sides by -2. So this should be review. We divided by a negative here, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't forget this. We divided by a negative, therefore I must flip the symbol. So m is greater than or equal to -3. Then 5m plus 12 is greater than 37. Draw your line down, minus 12. I get 5m is greater than 15. Divide both sides by 5. I get m is greater than 3. So I have m is greater than or equal to -3, and I have m is greater than 3. So we need to graph that. Okay, so here's my graph. And my smallest number is -3, so here's -3. Then -2, -1, here's 0, 1, 2, 3. okay? So I can do m is greater than, oh, actually I'll start up here. So I'll make my 3 graphs here. So here's -3, -2, -1, 0. So I have a closed circle, and I'm shading to the right. M is greater than 3. So my second graph is going to look like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have an open circle this time, shaded to the right. Now, it's an or. Remember from the thing, if it's an or, we want to union them together. So basically, if I union these together, there's going to be an overlap here that starts at -3, so we close circle at -3, and then everything gets shaded to the right because everything up here is shaded to the right, and then it overlaps right here with that. Now, this was open. Why is it shaded now? Because remember, an or statement says it has to work for one or the other. If I choose 3 and I go over here to my 2 inequalities, is 3 greater than or equal to -3? Yes, it is. So it works for the first one, but 3 is greater than 3. That's not true. But remember, it's an or, and it has to be one or the other. It worked for the one, but it didn't for the other, but that's still okay. So our final graph still has that overlap because those are all the possible solutions. Now, when you're writing a compound inequality for a graph, again, looking at this, you see that there is an overlap here in between these two values. So the first value is 0, the highest value is 5, and then you pick a variable for what the shading represents. I always use x, but you can use whatever variable you want. Now, what this is saying is 0 has to be, if this shaded right in here represents x, 0 has to be less than or equal to x because of the closed circle. And then x, which is the shaded, has to be less than 5, and it's just less than because it was an open circle. And that's how you write your inequalities.